The NCAA's Division I men's basketball tournament is here, aka March Madness, aka the big dance. So, I thought I'd take a break away from my usual incisive financial content to take a look at the business side of the world's most popular collegiate competition. We'll walk through the media deals, the big bucks the NCAA pockets, sports gambling, and of course, the crazy world of bracketology. What's at stake, who makes the big bucks, and where it all goes. So let's get into it. To start off, we gotta talk about the NCAA, because this is their bread and butter. As a non-profit organization that kindly publishes a Form 909, we get a deep look into the inner workings of the world's largest collegiate athletic body. To start, they make a ton of money. And what should stand out, other than that revenue blip in 2020 and a hefty insurance payout from a COVID cancellation, is that TV deals are what pays for this whole machine to run, including some ridiculous paydays for the folks running the show. Seriously, former? These guys know some dirt. Anyway, all said, the TV deals bring in around 80% of the NCAA's cash. So what? Seems legit? Well, you might think that TV money is nicely split between the big sports, but you'd be wrong. March Madness, just one of the hundreds of televised NCAA sporting events, pays the NCAA a mint. We're talking around 93% of all NCAA television cash comes from the tournament. So why don't some other sports pay their bit? Well, they have a separate deal with ESPN, but it's pretty paltry in comparison. The obvious question here is, what about college football? Well, that's actually kind of interesting. The NCAA doesn't actually control the TV rights to college football. They used to, but after being pissed off about getting little money and few national appearances, the College Football Association was formed in 1977 by 63 schools, and in 1984 won a landmark case at the Supreme Court, which granted the schools their own media rights. Since then, the individual conferences have struck their own TV deals, and yep, it's big money too. From this, you'd probably wonder why the basketball teams don't pull this move and go it alone. Me too. But it's definitely being used as a negotiating chip, and since most of the money flows back into Division I schools, it's probably not worth the hassle. Anyway, the most recent TV deal is a monster. In 2010, CBS announced a 13-year, $10.8 billion package that would run from 2011 to 2024. And in 2016, this pact was updated for more money and a new term, now running until 2032, with the new leg of the deal taking revenue over $1 billion a year. To put things into perspective, the month-long tournament holds up pretty darn well against the big boys, particularly when you consider the tournament is only 67 games. Get your weight up, NHL. The reason these TV deals are worth so much is that the field of companies competing for ads during the festivities is top-notch. I mean, if this doesn't make you want a Buick, I don't know what will. Sorry, Tiger. Ad spots for this year have been sold out for a while, with CBS Executive Vice President of Sports and Sales Marketing, John Bogus, telling reporters that 2022 will be a record-breaking year, with a near double-digit increase over last year. He went on to state that 30-second ad spots run from a couple $100,000 for the first four, the opener games where teams on the bubble play for a spot in the tournament proper, to well over $2 million for spots in the championship game. And there is definitely some bang for the buck here, with average viewership typically north of 10 million per game, growing as the tournament progresses. For example, 16.9 million people watched the tournament final in 2021, which was actually down 14% from the 19 or so million that watched it in 2019. Can't say I watched it though. You know I don't turn the TV on unless my beloved Billikens are playing. The big dance is like Christmas for bookies, if Christmas lasted a whole month. Last year, an estimated $8.5 billion in bets were placed on the tournament. This comes from around 47 million Americans making wagers, which, out of an adult population of 260 million, means that around 18% of people made bets. In addition to moving a lot of this gaming onto legal platforms, the lifting of sports betting bans in a growing number of states has significantly helped grow this market in recent years. Currently, sports betting is legal in 25 states and Washington, D.C. Additionally, betting numbers are only going to go up, as currently 17 states have pre-filed legislation to make sports betting legal. As for how they're doing it, AmericanGaming.org estimates that 36.7 million Americans filled out tournament brackets in 2021, which was actually down 8% from 2019. Meanwhile, they figure that 30.6 million Americans placed more traditional style bets on individual games or tournament outcomes. This is up 200% from the 18 million that did it in 2019. It seems pretty clear to me that legislation is pulling more people onto what I consider the more engaging experience of individual betting versus the one-and-done style of brackets. The main beneficiary of legalization has definitely been the big online players like DraftKings, Bet365, etc. An estimated 17.8 million US residents bet on March Madness in 2021, compared to only 5.8 million in 2019. I call that a slam dunk. Okay, sorry, that was terrible. And quickly, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below for more entertaining takes on the business world and financial markets. I'm just starting out, so it really helps to get some momentum for the channel. Okay, back at it. As mentioned previously, filling out a bracket is the most common way people bet on the tournament. No one in history has ever picked a perfect bracket, and probably no one ever will. With 63 games, if each outcome were a coin flip, that would work out to a 1 in 9.2 quintillion odds. For context, the University of Hawaii estimates that there are only 7.5 quintillion grains of sand on Earth. If you're cocky, to that you might say that you can pick them a lot better than a coin flip. And yeah, your odds do get better, but not really enough to really give you a hope in hell. For context, even the best professional sports gamblers bat sub 600. Luckily, you don't need to do that to get rich and famous. The most successful bracket on public record was in 2019 when Greg Niggle got the first 49 games right before busting after number 3 seed Purdue beat 2nd seed Tennessee 99-94 in overtime in the second game of the Sweet 16. The heartbreak. Beyond simple water cooler ones, there's some big money in some of the high-profile mega brackets, such as ESPN's $100,000 grand prize or Yahoo's payout of $25,000 plus a free trip to Vegas. Both are free to join, but there are also some nice paid ones out there too. My favorite was the Warren Buffett one, which unfortunately he no longer offers. Anyone who picked the perfect bracket would get $1 billion. And speaking of the Oracle of Omaha, you gotta admit he does run one of the best office pools. The Berkshire Hathaway employee who gets the top bracket wins $100K. Pick all the correct winners in round 1 and he gives you $1 million. Pick the first 2 rounds correct and that's $1 million a year for life. And I thought Pizza Fridays at my last job was a nice perk. Even if you don't have any money on the line, it should be a great month. And still, you'll walk away just as rich as the athletes. Despite the billions of dollars being thrown around, the kids playing in the tournament get nothing more than some camera time and hopes of a better draft slot from the exposure. Alright, so that's my quick update on the financial side of March Madness. I hope you found it interesting, and if you did, please give it a like or consider subscribing for more informative and hopefully entertaining financial content. I'm Ryan, and thanks for tuning into Market Lab.